Hey everybody, never hurts to revisit the fast tracker. Who is this? Is this actually coming out of my brother Aaron? Dude, that's the man that I know. Check him out. Never hurts to revisit. He is in it to win it. Love it, Aaron. Good, great attitude, bro. While we're waiting on people to get in here, I put myself through college, of course, with my parents' help, scholarships, my parents' help, but also on the weekends, I would go to Mableton. Nicole, you know Mableton.
I do.
I would go to Mableton and buy all kind of stuff like pillows from wholesale houses and go to the Kennesaw flea market. And I made so much money at the flea market. Maybe that's an idea. Does people still go to the flea markets?
No idea. I've never been a flea market person, so I don't know.
Bernadette, well, I was there, and that's how I got a little bit of change to. For a kid in college, I thought I was rich selling pillows and junk at the flea market. I will say I made a big mistake when I sold all of my childhood Matchbox cars. They'd be worth something today. But I also worked at a video store every weekend. In the summers, I worked for Shaw Industries, Creeling. And then on the weekends when I was in college, going back and forth to Jackson State, a video store. And I remember we had like 100 of those VHS tapes with Robin Williams on it. Good Morning Vietnam, or whatever it was called. And that was the popular movie while I was working at Video Country on Grassdale Road. Some of y'all will remember that. But anyway, what a life. What a life. Everybody here? I hate to hear that flea markets. Well, I guess we've got a big flea market now called Amazon with better, with better quality goods.
It's sad because those of us who used to do the flea markets, it's a favorite pastime. But the one that you said, Kennesaw, it's on 41. It's totally shrunk down, and they've sold the original land to shopping centers. But that's yesteryear. But a lot of them, and this is no slur intended, have turned into like the Mexi markets because the Latinos in their countries, they have these big markets, right? And so a lot of them now sell brand new products, and that's their little booth, which is their little store. So
Mm,
it's very, very hard to find the old fashioned flea markets where people take their stuff. What they do now, I don't know, there's a couple that are called the longest yard sales, and they start like in Florida and go all the way up to like Michigan, the Highway 411 yard sale. So they do these things where people can take their stuff out or in their front yards and sell stuff. And those are once a year, big time events. But it is so hard to find the old fashioned style flea market.
interesting. I figured that. We'll get with the lesson here in just a minute. Um, I, you'll remember nostalgically, the Kennesaw Flea Market was hugely popular. And
Yeah,
you know what really killed it back in the day? They started charging for parking.
really.
Yeah, they started charging $2 for parking, and nobody would come over that $2. And then the owners of it, the management, got rid of the $2, but people still wouldn't come back. So business lesson, don't make people mad, which I've done quite a few times by accident.
So
But
which one did you go to, the one that was on the left at the corner
if
by the Ackworth side, or the one that was on the right that was further down 41?
if I'm headed south on 41, it would be on my right.
Okay, and that one's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. Good
That's
time.
crazy. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get started because y'all probably don't want to hear Bernadette and I talk about flea marketing, or is one of my favorite things to do too. My mama all taught me to do how to do that. You go around the yard sales when they're ready to go, you buy everything for a few dollars and you go sell it.
That's right.
Before you get going, can you hear me?
I can't.
Yes.
Okay. I was having issues. My audio kept going in and out, so I just wanted to make sure. Sorry.
All right, we're gonna get going. I was stalling, but it's Lisa, I can't get it to play on Facebook. If it shows up, sometimes it'll tell me that it won't, that it's not, and it does, but it doesn't look like it's streaming. So we've got another issue or update with Zoom or something. But with these fast track, we'll get started. These fast track lessons are open to the public. We're honoring and being true to our mission. We're not a 7 day trial. We're not first class is free anymore. The fast track program is what we feel called to do, has been what we felt called to do for more than 20 years, getting this valuable information to people that need it. It's never felt good to say to somebody when they ask for help, yeah, I'll help you if you pay such and this. We want to help every willing and wanting heart lose weight if they have a desire to lose weight. The program that Nicole and I are teaching you this week and next week, and Lord willing, the next week, it is award winning. It has changed tens of thousands of lives. Glory to God, because it's comprehensive. If there's a liability to it, it's because it is comprehensive. But we're not trying, we don't want a diet. The first three letters of the word diet spell die. Anything we start with and can't stay with forever is a waste of our time. And that's what's wrong in my estimation. It's why the obesity epidemic is going upward by the day. They don't it's one of the problems that we have that's so overwhelming that nobody's wanting to tackle it. Nobody in government, nobody in business. It's just overwhelming, an overwhelming issue amongst people. And the more programs that come out, the worse it gets. The more medicines that come out, the worse it gets. It's not going to get better. So, what we're doing is calling forth a remnant, a group of people who really want to come back to the Father and honor the temple. And we're teaching you a practical, sustainable, and fun way to do that. That if you apply it and trust it, it works. It works for everybody. It works for my dogs. It works for humans. I suspect it even works for Martians. It's that effective. And we're teaching that program. But before Nicole and I get into it today, make sure that you log in to the website. If you can't log in, reach out to one of our team members. Sorry, I missed some of those messages. Reach out to our team members. Ask them to reset your username, whatever you got to do to get in there and start this life saving program. It's never been better. We've even streamlined fast track for new folks so that that's what you see and you can focus and you don't scurry around all over the website until you're ready, because we have the largest weight loss and wellness website on planet Earth. So get in there, watch the fast track videos. After each video, there's a short quiz, one or two questions, two or three questions. Answer those, go to the next video. Get your fast track badge this week or next week if you've never done that. If you're struggling after a few classes and you still can't figure out what to eat, guess what? We've got some good-hearted mentors that can help you figure out and learn what to eat, how to eat it. It's not that difficult. When the mind is right, it's not difficult. You just got to decide, do, and it's done. I'll give you a few things before Nicole and I get started just to think about, because we want to sharpen the axe so that we can chop down the tree. We don't want to take a blunt axe. But a little story comes to mind. I'll be quick with it. When I was a kid, uh, we always had big gardens, and my mom, her sister, her mom, they would all can foods. They would can vegetables. Many of us grew up that way. And you go in the garden, and I wasn't much for work, but even as a little lad, they put me to work. They wanted to teach me work, and they would give me my hoe. Got to be careful how you say this. And they would say, hoe your row. Well, all of the kids, the cousins, we had a row to hoe. And I would just stand there and boohoo because everybody was bigger than me and they could finish faster than me, and then they could go play. Until you hoed your row, you could not go play. And many of y'all have got to know my mama, who I'm very tender-hearted about. And she's hoeing her row. Everybody's hoeing their row. My cousin Kevin's hoeing his row. Relate that to weight loss. But I'm sitting there crying. My mom comes up to me and says, until you hoe your own row, you can't go play. You have to finish your row. You have to hoe your row. So eventually, snot bubbles and all, I got to hoe in my row. Now, what I noticed about that, once I quit pushing back and complaining and whining, I got into it. It felt good to work. Work hard, play hard. It felt good. I was enjoying hoeing my row. I had my head down, and I'm doing it, and I'm digging around it, and I'm doing a good job. But then I hear playing, and I look up. I'm about halfway down my row. I look up, and everybody's done but me. Is that how some of y'all get to feeling? Paulette, is that how it feels sometimes? Everybody made it to goal but me. I'm only halfway or whatever you're feeling. Well, that's how I felt that day. All life is breadcrumbs. It's pointing you to something else. And that was a great lesson. And then my mom was leaving the garden, and she seen me, and she knew I was putting in the effort. So you know what she did? She come back and she got on the other end of my row and worked her way to me. That's what this family's about. We get to our goal, we turn around and help somebody else hoe their row. So if you've got a row to hoe, get started today with fast track videos. Take the test, pass those tests, earn your fast track badge. You'll be successful. If there's anything reasonable that you need, we provide it. So you don't have to go around frustrated and upset. You just ask for help. If you have to ask twice, ask twice. We're a small team. But Nicole, myself, Cindy, Cheryl, Mom, we're all here to help you. Paulette's throwed her hat in the ring wanting to help. So we're all here to help you. We will do this same routine next week. We're going to teach fast track each week, try to help a new group, or you get it again, but help a new group go through, earn the fast track badge, install a proper lifestyle. So we'll get started. If you haven't become a member yet, everybody see this thing? One of the things that we're doing different, we got an accountability system, and we're having fun with our little belt system. If you're a paying member, we have these digital belts. I found this today and I thought, wow, I missed that. This is my old jiu-jitsu belt, and you can see it is wore out. That means a lot to me. It's wore out. That means it went through a lot of miles on it, right? A lot of experience in this old wore out jiu-jitsu belt. I wore that a lot of times. But that journey means so much to me. Once you become a foundation member, you start off as a white belt in our program. And every time you achieve a new benchmark, you get recognized for that next belt level. And we've got a black belt here to teach today. And it's Nicole. She's doing a good job, great feedback. And we are looking to train other instructors so that we're always present for those that need help. This is lesson 3 today, and today's lesson is about turning your pantry and restaurants into power tools. So, Nicole, you have anything you want to say before we get started?
No, I don't think so. Maybe just the fact that, you do need to plan. That's one of the biggest things is to get started is to plan ahead.
Amen.
Very important with restaurants.
Amen. Look, There it is. All right, now you're back. Why does today matter? Now, Nicole, this week is we're going through it, getting our pitch down, getting it right so that we're teaching it. All the teachers are teaching the same stuff. So this first week is about me going through it with her. And then in the next week or two, she's going to be doing this by herself or with a co-teacher. So y'all keep being good to her because we really value her and appreciate her. So, why does today matter? We're not hiding in a cave to lose weight. I've always said that the program, a lifestyle change, has to be practical, means you can do it anywhere, has to be sustainable, and it has to be enjoyable. That number three is maybe the most challenging part for someone starting because we've told ourselves for years that this is going to be hard and that it is punishment. It is not. It's actually a blessing and a reward to eat delicious foods and get your health back. So it has to be fun. If it's not fun to you, you won't do it for long. I often tell people in order to be successful, you have to be ready, you have to be willing, and you have to be able. So the ready part, you've all got that. You're here. You're able because you're a human being and this is how your body works. But are you willing? When we can cover those three bases, ready, willing, and able, we become unstoppable. But you've got to live. You got to eat at grandma's. You got to conserve a perfect day even at grandma's. You have to maintain a perfect day even at the Chick-fil-A. That rhymed. You've got to feed your family. Sometimes recipes, sometimes you're headed to the ball game and got to eat on the go. If you're willy-nilly about what you put in the orifice under your nose, then you're going to spike insulin. And when there are doses of insulin in the bloodstream that are elevated, you cannot lose body fat. It is impossible. The scales will fluctuate. They'll go up and down still, but you're not losing fat. You cannot. You must keep insulin levels abated. You must maintain healthy insulin levels. How do we know if we're doing that? Follow the program. If you wear a continuous glucose monitor, then it just backs up everything I'm saying. Food combinations keep your blood sugar lower, therefore you don't have the same need for insulin. This program is not restrictive in the least. It's realistic and it's repeatable. That's what I love about it. You have a successful plan. You operate, you can do anything for a week. You lose up to 10 pounds in your first week, feel better. Maybe you lost 4, doesn't matter. But then you duplicate that successful pattern. We have an expectation. When we start or restart, we can lose up to 10% of our beginning weight in the first 30 days. Some people do that in 2 weeks. We've got a challenge going on. One of the ladies has lost 9% in 2 weeks. After that first month, you're looking at a 0.5% to 1%. Meaning if my 5th week, I'm 180 pounds, I can count on a 0.5 pound to about 1.8 pounds. That's a lot of fat. Takes up a lot of space. I do not care what the scales say. This is a duplicatable success pattern. You can duplicate over and over and be successful unless you are letting your counselor, if your weight loss coach and counselor is the scales in the bathroom, we're probably going to have a rocky relationship. You have to trust the weekly timing chart, the amount of time spent in EFB. Cole, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, just the thought on what you just said about the scale. I think that's what everybody obviously wants to see move, but um the main thing is trusting the system. And I think you have to figure out if you're that person that getting on the scale is gonna really bother you, then to me a good practice is weighing once a week on Wednesday. That was always I know we used to do something called Weigh In Wednesday, but I think that's a good day to weigh. A lot of times you have your holidays. If you're going to have one, you're going to have it on the weekend. So that gives you, a couple of days to get a little bit of that water weight. But I would just say the side of that is trying not to focus on the number on the scale. So
Yeah, good stuff.
oh, sorry, I don't know what I just did. Somehow I went all the way to the end.
Begin with the end in mind.
Right. Do y'all remember that part about Nicole needs some grace? Just keep remembering that. Okay, I think we're good.
All right. So how do we do this practically? I've said for 25 years, everything you need comes from your local grocery store. Kroger, in my case, and you Harley, sometimes the Dollar General. Doesn't matter. This program meets you where you're at. We talk about specialty products at times, but nothing is needed. You may want something different, but nothing is needed but the education, the willingness, and a local grocery store. When we start the program, let's build upon this new lifestyle I can't talk, brick by brick, precept upon precept. We start with simple food combining, 1+2s. The grocery store and the perimeter of the grocery store is filled with healthy, delicious, lean proteins and fibrous carbs. When we look at the food library, we're thinking about chicken breast, egg whites, turkey breast, all fish, low fat cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt. Those are category ones. 96% lean ground meat of any type, 97% lean Hebrew National Franks, protein shakes. These are all exercise in a category. They require so much blood flow to the digestive system to extract those amino acids. You're literally working out your metabolism and you're putting the brakes on the the fat bus. Then you've got category 2, fibrous carb, broccoli. That's exercise on a stalk. Asparagus is elliptical on a stem. If I can see these things right, I'm going to make better decisions. I love exercising now, but it wasn't even in my vocabulary 30 years ago. But when I learned that I could eat squash, cabbage, okra, eat it the right way, cooked in the right oil, and I would get blood flow to the digestive system, and it was like burning calories like exercise, that changed everything for me. So around the perimeter of your grocery store, if you know how to select good quality, you're purchasing and putting in that buggy, exercise in a buggy. That ought to make you feel good, get you fired up. We control insulin. We just had an advanced class about brain health. We're combating brain deterioration. Everything we're doing here supports quality of life, longevity. Approved category 2 breads. We've talked about those. This is a great lesson about swaps, and we'll get more into that as we go. You have category 2 breads. You have category 3 breads. Again, before you get lost, these are all in the libraries. But you have category 2, category 3, and then evil. The whiter the bread, the quicker that you're dead. That sunbeam bread, they ought to take that girl on that sunbeam bread. I hear she was real. The sunbeam girl, and they ought to put horns on her sweet little head and a pitchfork in her hand. That stuff's evil. It's nothing but endosperm spiking your blood sugar. The fat bus coming. You can't lose any body fat for 2 days after eating that white bread ham sandwich. It's not fortified with enough protein and fiber to put the brakes on the bus. However, we have more than 100 approved breads and tortillas that taste like bread and tortillas. Some of them even look like white bread, but they're fortified with protein and fiber, and they meet our perfect formula for bread products, and you put the brakes on the bus. So when I eat my ham sandwich, my body's not seeing evil endosperm. It's saying this tastes like a sandwich, but it's breaking down like a green bean. That's why we call it green bean bread. It ain't made of green beans, but your body doesn't digest it like a traditional white bread or corn tortilla, etc. So get really acquainted with those breads. When you go to a restaurant, having your tortilla with you or having your bun with you makes a big difference. Well, I don't want to waste any money with my own bun or take the time to do that or look silly or whatever you're thinking, whatever the devil putting in your mind, they don't care. But what I'll tell you is if you eat that quarter pounder with their bread, you just lost 2 days of fat burning. If you eat it with your bread or without bread or in a lettuce wrap, you stay in fat burning. Then you've got MCT oil, condiments, and snacks. MCT oil is one of the most important parts of this program. We just wrote a book on it. It's the most comprehensive book ever written on MCT oil. And there's recipes in there. Somebody could take just that book and lose all the weight that they wanted to lose if they would just go by the information in that book. Medium chain triglyceride oil is like a short candle wick. Think short wick against a long wick. Olive oil would be like a long wick. Now it has its benefits until it's cooked, but let's scratch that for a minute. You've got your short candle wick and your long candle wick. As soon as you consume fat, unless you consumed it with carbs, if I consume fat, my body starts utilizing that fat as an energy source. If it's a long candle wick and it doesn't burn and get utilized fast enough, it can easily be stored. A medium chain triglyceride is like a short candle wick. It burns out so fast it has no propensity to be stored as fat. At home, where you can control your habitat, get rid of all other oils except for MCT oil. Ghee butter serves some purpose. Ghee, Ghee, cow ghee, not plant ghee. And then coconut oil for those who are wanting to be more budget friendly. But coconut oil, it doesn't make sense to me. Per serving, you're talking about a few pennies. Get rid of the coconut oil. Use MCT oil. You'll be better off. We learn in advanced classes how to eat olive oil and grapeseed oil and all these others and the things that the restaurants cook with. But at home, where you can have an advantage and increase thermogenesis, do that. Condiments we've hit on. At the grocery store, the condiments is 0 calories. Save those calories. Walden Farms, calorie free. Herbs, spices, those kind of things. If you really need a certain barbecue sauce, go by the 5-2 and few rule. 5 grams of sugar or less, 2 grams of fat or less, use a smidge. Now, your barbecue sauce has got 7 grams of sugar. Is it under 50 calories? If it is, and you can use just a drop or two, you'll be okay. But it's best 5-2 and few rule or calorie free, or use the library. Snacks, we have a portion component. Eat up to 3 eating episodes a day. Eating episodes are anything other than a freebie drink. If we're chewing on it, it's likely that we call that an eating episode. When we started, when Nicole started, when I started, when some of y'all started, it wasn't that way. But I have found for optimization, behaviorally more than physically, it's important for me not to graze. I got where I was eating in the beginning. I ate 3 meals, up to 2 snacks and freebies, all approved, but I wasn't breaking that addiction. We want you to have 3 eating episodes, whether it's a meal, snack, or freebie or less for optimal days. And if you have moments where your cravings are taking over, then have that approved snack. Snacks serve a real function for us as a void replacement. Example, one of my snacks, I love Reese cups. I don't want to lose 2 days of my fat burning potential over Reese's. So I have Health Smart peanut butter patties that taste like a Reese's. I mix them in shakes. I do all kind of things with them, but I have my void replacement. Quest has one, Atkins has one. Snacks are things that you used to crave, but they cause the fat bust to come. Now we're looking for those same types of things that taste the same, but don't cause the fat bust to come. So we could talk hours on the void replacements. There's a void replacement for an Oreo. There's a void replacement for a Little Debbie brownie. There's a void replacement for a Sonic Blast. You name it, we got it covered. Remember, pro tip, shop the perimeter of the store in the beginning of this program. And then in advanced, you'll learn about perfect pairings, things like how to have cereal paired right, etc. But right now, we're trying to get our life back. We focus on the perimeter. Nicole?
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you're new, I think this is really helpful now that, there's online grocery ordering and pickup and, all these things. One thing I felt like was really helpful for me is not going into the grocery store and shopping, but starting to do like online pickup and things like that because, you it goes back to focus on what you can have and not what you can't. And so when you're in that grocery store, you're going through and you're seeing all these things that you used to eat. And, it's just so much of this is habits and, changing your mindset. So I think that to me, that was a really helpful thing. And then I got in the habit of, it was saved and the things that I ate on a regular basis, it just made it a lot easier and more efficient when you're, trying to plan for the future. So,
Amen. Good points. Great points. Keep in mind, everybody, all this stuff that we're talking about is also complete in the Fast Track library, including your food library for beginners. Of course, there's an expansion of items, but variety helps us stay in the lifestyle. But sometimes we have to narrow the focus like we do with Fast Track, get some momentum. Pantry power, staples that keep you on track. Get rid of those oils. If it's at all possible for you, it's kind of like I hate to use this because sometimes it depends on the group where it gets me in trouble, and I'm just trying to find relatable ways to explain things. Not saying anybody in here has ever had an alcohol issue or addiction. I've dealt with certain addictions, but addiction, okay? So if you are an alcoholic, you're trying to be a teetotaler, you're trying to stay off that stuff. You can't have alcohol in the house. Why do we do that with food? Why do we keep all this junk in the pantry and the fridge? Now, if you have family or a partner that insists on the junk, brings it home, you got to think outside the box maybe. Maybe you got to have your own fridge or you got to have your own cabinet space. Don't make excuses. Lead them in the right way. They'll follow you eventually. But at the same, my point here is as much as you can replace what you shouldn't be having with what you should be having. It just makes life easier. MCT oil, approved bread, get it on sale, freeze it. When mom makes me cakes and I'm having a perfect day, I freeze it, thaw it later, have it then. Canned tuna, chicken, these kind of things, canned tuna and chicken. We would love for you to buy fresh, organic, all of that. That's the best. But what if you're on a budget? Maybe you have to get some canned meats. They work on the program. Canned is acceptable if it's approved. Then frozen is next best, and then fresh. But if we got to go with canned, we go with canned. These are staples that should be in the house. You can quickly make you a tuna salad, throw it on a tortilla, you're good to go. Protein shakes, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones. We promote GC Control and Beverly UMP. That's our two main ones. GC Control is the very best for weight management. Beverly UMP, probably the best one for those who are trying to work out and put on muscle. Meal replacements. I have to eat on the go a lot. A Mighty Muffin, a Quest Muffin, an Atkins bar, or a David bar. Those meal replacements help me. They fuel you. They control your portions. In fact, a great approach to this in the beginning is one or two meal replacements and then one whole food meal until you get momentum and are excited about the weight loss. They just control your calories and they taste good if they're good ones. Void replacements, we're going to talk about it shortly. Survival kit, fill in the voids. There's almost nothing that you can come up with that you can't have here and replace what was left as a void. Whether it's your favorite ice cream, your favorite cheesecake, almost everything is in that website that replaces those voids. There might be one or two weird things that you could have a gotcha moment with me about, but for the most part, you have everything that you used to eat, you can swap out some ingredients and still have it, and often it'll taste better, and you're not getting that fat bust provocation. So void replacements are critical for you being able to avoid FOMO and fill voids and give in to them. Nicole?
Yeah, I would say just always having the right things on hand. That's so important. And I know it's not always possible depending on, your personal situation, but having just cleaning out the pantry before you really get started, that's a huge thing. Get rid of those things that donate them if you're like, I don't, want to get, if you can do that or whatever, but just kind of get rid of those things that are temptations for you. The things that are going to call your name, at 10 o'clock at night. So just get rid of those things if you can.
Great job. Restaurants. How many of you, I'm just curious, you eat out more than once a week? You eat out more than once a week, whether out of leisure or necessity. It's actually nowadays it's getting where it's just as expensive to go buy groceries, isn't it? You eat out, yeah, more than twice. How? Give me a number, 1 to 10. How many times a week do you eat out? Cheryl, three times. Anybody else? 2 to 3. I think that's probably what we're gonna find is the average. 3 to 4 times for Paulette. Melanie, 3. Aaron, 1 to 2. One for Lisa. Two to 3. So if we're gonna have a lifestyle, once we understand insulin and we realize and believe, that's another part of it, believing. I don't know how we don't believe biology, but some don't. If we have elevated levels of insulin in our bloodstream, growth hormone, fat storage hormone stops your fat burning. That means every time we leave our natural habitat that we don't control and we go to a restaurant, we're in danger, aren't we? It don't take much at a restaurant, and also their calories is portion distortion. It's like huge portions. So you've got the calorie problem, surplus of calories. Your body can only assimilate maybe at best 300 to 400 calories every hour or two. You go to a restaurant, not every hour or two, but 3 to 4 hours, and then it takes several hours to break that down. You go to a restaurant, average calories for a meal is well over 2,000 calories. So just that's a problem. Then you're spiking insulin, and you lost 2 days of your fat burning when you could follow the rule set of this program and navigate those restaurants. Sometimes at a restaurant, you can make forward progress towards your goals, but I have found for me, it's best to look like restaurant situations as a punting situation. In football, if it's 4th and 4, rather than commit the turnover, you punt the ball. So I look at restaurants as I'm trying not to commit a turnover. I want to enjoy the experience, enjoy the people I'm with without provoking the fat bus. At restaurants, they're never ever cooking in MCT oil. So right there is a red flag. Even if I order a lean meat and a fibrous carb, salmon and broccoli, and I don't eat the taters and I don't eat all the salad, just their salad dressing can be 400 to 800 calories. So even if I know I'm using light Italian, I'm using lemon juice on my salad, I'm not eating croutons, etc., and I get my salmon or chicken breast, no breading, and broccoli, I still have a problem. It's called vegetable oil or olive oil. We can have it, but there's a few things you can't put on that plate. If you're new, you don't know yet. But members, what are the categories I cannot have on a plate at a restaurant on a perfect day? I can have anything on my earned holiday. What are the categories I cannot have? Threes and fives. And there's one more that you have to be cautious with. Six. We treat everything at a restaurant, no matter what's ordered, like there's a category 4 coming. And if you look at your combination chart with a protein plus fat, you cannot have category 3 carbohydrate, potatoes, etc. You cannot have fruit. You cannot have superfoods in a large quantity. You got to be really careful. Get out of that restaurant unscathed or it costs you 2 days. Focus on what you can have, not on what you cannot have. It will taste good. Don't look at other people's plate. If I go to the restaurant with Cindy and we're sitting down at the Mexican restaurant and they bring the chips and the cheese dip out, if I watch her eat them chips in front of me and focus on that, I'll get such FOMO, I break out in a cold sweat like I'm never going to get to have another chip in my life. That's why it's important to bring in your own or avoid them. If I focus on what I can have and what I like, I'll leave there happy too. But you got to be prepared for the restaurant. You're entering a battleground at a restaurant. Keep it clean. 1s plus 2s, 4s plus 2s, 7 plus 2s. And then you'll leave there still in fat burning mode 2 hours later. Ditch the buns. Get rid of their bread. They do not use approved bread. Get rid of it or carry yours in. Eat on a lettuce wrap. Carry your tortilla in. I cut up my 1/4 pounder meat and put it on my tortilla that's in my survival kit. Fries, you want some fries? Do it at home for Pete's sake. Cut that tater up or get you a mock one with butternut squash or jicama. Those are freebies if you cook them right. But if you want French fried potatoes like Sling Blade, you can do it. You can do it. You just have to fry those up in some MCT oil or bake them or put them in an air fryer. What would I have with fries at home, someone? What could I have and make that right? Ain't nothing we can't have on this program. What could I do? Could I have a category 2 bun with 96% lean ground beef, a hamburger, and some steak fries that fit on 1/4 of my plate? Heck yeah. Why couldn't I do that? That's beautiful. In the morning, I can lose weight like this. I can get up, have my beautiful, awesome mushroom coffee. For lunch, I can go and have some Wendy's chili, put it over a side salad at my lunch break. For dinner, I can grill me a hamburger, put it on some category 2 bread that breaks down like a green bean, ketchup, mustard, pickle, lettuce, whatever I want on that bad boy. Have me 4 big old finger size steak fries dipped in some reduced sugar ketchup and think I'm in heaven. You can do it too. Watch out for starchy sides. Nicole? Anything?
I will say, yeah, I will say as far as restaurants go, yeah, I mentioned this the other day, but Chick-fil-A was always my go-to because we had, so many options and that's really my favorite anyway. But, one thing that I did try to reserve, and I still do this, reserve going out. I don't go out to eat very much, but if I do, I try to reserve that for a holiday because it's just, those are going to be your, sneaky, the sneaky calories because you don't know how they're fixing it. You don't know, what they're really cooking in, things like that. So I just always tried to have the practice of most of the time, if I went out to eat, it's going to be a holiday. So that was my plan for the most part.
Yeah, and y'all, don't stay on the bright side, the positive side. Think about it. If you're trying to lose fat while you're trying to lose fat, no okay days. You follow the shield or it's a holiday. If you so much as lick the cheese dust off a Dorito, it's a holiday. But you get 6. That's 72 days a year. If you were having to quit another addiction, you'd have to quit cold turkey and forever and ever, amen. But with this, you still, Georgia football games, birthdays, anniversary, 72. And then when you get in maintenance, 144. Now, I am told a lot that don't work for people. Let me say this, mathematically, it does. If all your other days are perfect and you had 144 holidays, some are hog troughs, some are hollow meals, you would maintain your weight or be really close to your ideal weight. However, our mind slips is what it is. I agree with people when they say that 12 is too many. It's not mathematically, but what happens when we allow almost half our month to be willy-nilly again, we get in trouble. So you might want to stay between 6 and 12, but that's a lot. This is not a restrictive program. Now, Nicole put together this chart and I love it. This is a great chart. She's talking about restaurant fat burning meals. Everything on the plate, even category ones, we treat like a four. Notice she says grilled chicken salad, grilled chicken with approved dressing. At home, that's a category one. If we eat it out, it's a four. That four is telling us no threes, no fives with me. They don't like each other. They fight. Or you could say they love each other. I don't know. Maybe they getting connected. But I like to look at it like they don't like each other. Slow digesting fat, fast carbs, my body don't like it. So everything at the restaurant cooked in the wrong oil, we treat as a four, and then you can have that vegetable on a perfect day. That is approved. Look at another restaurant. Broiled fish of any type with asparagus. Asparagus is elliptical on the stem. That's a fat burning meal right there. Then you've got a bunless burger. We have burger rules and pizza rules. Y'all are aware of that, right? There's some outliers. There's some things that aren't within the bulletproof shield because of the life that we all live. I follow the rules. I have pizza rules and hamburger rules for home and for restaurants. At restaurants, my burger rule is other than stuff that's like Big Macs, I get quality beef, chunk the bun, get my condiments on the side. I'm good to go. There's a little restaurant down the road. About once every 3 weeks, I'll go run down there and get me a hamburger. And I don't even take my bun in, I just throw their bun away, get my condiments on the side, cut the ground beef up, dip it in the ketchup, or I could carry my tortilla or my bun in. Ask for a side veggie to allow it to be more filling. At home, I can have a category one piece of meat. Let me ask y'all this before Nicole moves on this. Quiz question. True or false? I'm at a restaurant. I can order me a hamburger, throw away the bread, and I can have sweet potato and broccoli with it at a restaurant. Can I do that? Chunk the bread at a restaurant? No, I'm shocked. I got a lot of teaching to do. So let's talk that out real quick. Do you see that, Nicole?
Yeah.
So this is helpful to find out where the misinformation is so that we can fix it. We can make better decisions. So if I eat out, there's several things that happen there. Now I tricked you because I said I threw away the bun, which is code for I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I didn't because their ground beef is never going to be 96% lean, is it?
Right.
It's going to be a category four. And then if I have sweet potato, that's a category three. And fours and threes do not need to be together. You got to keep them apart like two adolescent teenagers that are going through puberty. You got to keep them apart. Are y'all with me? This is when I open mouth, insert foot, isn't it? That just kind of slipped out. But you don't want them together. Now, if I'm at home, true or false, I can have 96% lean ground beef. I can grill that on the grill, and I can have a category two bun, approved condiments, and watermelon for dessert. True or false? Kathy's on it. Yeah, you could do that. What about this at home? I've got 93% ground meat and I drain all the oil off of it and I don't eat a bun and I have some green beans with it and I have watermelon. Can I do that? No. What was wrong with that scenario?
Category 4.
Yeah, it was category 4. We got to have it lean. Keep in mind, y'all, all those combinations that you're looking at, if you'll go pay attention, other than perfect pairings, if you look at the combinations, they're all trying to accomplish one thing. They're trying to keep slow digesting fat away from any carbohydrate. Look at her next one there, chicken Alfredo.
Oops, sorry.
It's okay. So I've got some chicken. Uh, Even if it was category 1 at a restaurant, I got to treat it like a 4. But we go to Olive Garden and we want chicken Alfredo. They've sauteed it in oil, but let's pretend they didn't. Let's pretend they just dry grilled that chicken. What is that Alfredo? Is that a fat bus agent or not? That pasta, I mean.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
You know what you got to do there? I've done this. I don't know if y'all have done it. I've done it and it's great. And it's hard to do because I love pasta. Bring me the chicken Alfredo without the pasta. They go, huh? But you can do that. Now at home, we got it made. We have all kinds of approved pasta, and I can easily have crab Alfredo, shrimp Alfredo, chicken Alfredo, hamburger helper, my way, not their way, etc. Nicole, anything you want to share there?
No, I don't think so. On that one, I think we've already.
Fast food rules, okay, our restaurant rules. We have rules, okay? So let's look at fast food like Chick-fil-A. Just because we say breaded chicken's okay there, it doesn't mean it is elsewhere. We get to be picky because we see the nutrition profile. At Chick-fil-A, you can count their grilled chicken as a 1. That's one of the exceptions. Their breaded chicken, even though it's added a carb, we have to count it as a 4. So when I go to Chick-fil-A, I know because of the library, I can have their breaded chicken or their grilled chicken. The grilled is best. All I have to do is ditch the bun and put it on my bun or my tortilla. Can't go get chicken nuggets at McDonald's unless it's a holiday. But you have these exceptions, and we have a restaurant guide for that. Wendy's, not all chili is approved. Recipes at home are approved. Crystal's chili is not approved. Wendy's chili is approved. This is where the library comes into play. You've got the rules, but then you have exceptions to the rules. McDonald's, Egg McMuffin on a Thomas Light muffin. Eggs on a Thomas Light muffin. That's a 4 and a 2. If you're using whole eggs, if you use egg whites, that's a 1 and a 2. McDonald's, you can't do this at Burger King, but McDonald's has the quarter pounder. Quarter pounder beef is some of the cleanest beef in America. So you could do it on your tortilla. Mexicans all the same. It's fried bread, fried cheese, fried everything. Fried meat, fried cheese, fried bread, fried vegetables. Doesn't matter what they call it, that's what it is. You just have to stay away from the tortillas, the chips, and the carbs. When I go to a Mexican restaurant, I bring my double bite chips in, or if I didn't bring them with me, I ask for bell peppers, celery, something to dip while we're all waiting on our meal and I'm watching them eat chips. I prefer to bring mine in and I can have that in salsa as a snack or a quarter cup of cheese dip as a snack. Restaurant meals, I'm getting 3 soft chicken tacos, throwing away their shells and putting salsa on the meat of all of it. I'm getting fajita meat, peppers, onions, veggies, just eating that or putting it in one of my tortillas. It's easy to do it there. Chicken soup with no rice. Then you got pizza. Pizza's a challenging one because people love that crust. When you eat at a restaurant, if you're sure, don't do gluten free necessarily. Gluten free doesn't mean cauliflower, it'll trick you. Make sure it's cauliflower crust. If it's cauliflower crust and thin crust, you can have 2 slices that fit under your hand, maybe get a side salad. They don't have that, or you don't have your library and find out that you can have Philly cheesesteak on the Domino's thin crust. You just don't know what to do. You're always safe if you pull the toppings off 2 or 3 slices. Just eat the toppings, or put the toppings in your tortilla, or put them over a side salad. And that's how I navigate these pizza restaurants. It's better at home. You can use a Joseph's high fiber flatbread pizza and make one at home that's a fat burning pizza. Nicole, any ideas or thoughts there?
Yeah, actually, that's something I love to do is the Joseph's lavash bread and make my own pizza. But one thing I will say is if if you do eat out a lot, you know the restaurants you go to frequently, go ahead and take the time to, plan ahead and know, okay, these are the things I can have here. So that way you have that mindset going into it, instead of, getting there and feeling like you're missing out on something. Just go ahead and look through the library and figure out what it is you can do there before
Can
you
you
get
see
there.
me?
That's the best thing. Oh,
There you
oh,
I'll click
mute
that.
it.
Yeah, I got it. I think I got it. Whoops. May not let me. Anyway, we'll keep going. Got quiet again. So,
Ah.
finishing it up here, we have make sure that you've got a beginner meal plan. You can find that in the fast track resources. There's plenty of starting ideas for you to download. And if you don't overthink this and you start with faith, breakfast for the Father, lunch for the Son, dinner for the Holy Spirit, you start with faith and you eat from the meal plan while you're learning this, you'll be fine. If there's not enough variety, ask in the fast track group for some help. They'll help you. There's plenty of variety though, literally tens of thousands of meal combinations. Um, there's a meal plan worksheet where you can kind of do some planning and prepare for your next week. If this week was a filling out process, start preparing now. Thursday's a great day to start preparing for the best day of the week to start your new lifestyle, which is Monday. Grocery list, we got a great grocery list option for members where you can add food library items to your named grocery list. You can even turn it into like an app on your phone so that it's easily accessible at the grocery store, or you can print it. You just go through the food library, hit the plus sign, it adds it to your grocery list so that you can go in the grocery store, focus on what you can have, not on what you can't have. Void replacements and make a survival kit. Void replacements, know them, learn them. What are the things that trip you up over and over again? For me, it could be Moose Tracks ice cream. I found a void replacement. Reese's, found a void replacement. Whatever it is that's costing you 2 days of your fat burning potential, bring that to light, ask the group, and let's replace it with something that controls insulin. Void replacements. You will not white knuckle this program for long. If you have to go day after day filling a void, you're going to be just going in a circle. You've got to find when you get rid of something, you got to find something to replace it with. Next, make a survival kit. Better have it, not need it, need it, not have it. In my Jeep right now, there's a survival kit of shelf stable items like tortillas, salad dressing, chips, so that I'm prepared no matter where I go to fill the void. So a survival kit for me has saved me endless numbers of holidays because no matter where I go, I've got something to fill that void in my survival kit that's not going to provoke the fat bus. Nicole?
Yes, that's one thing I pretty much always have a category 2 tortilla with me, or survival kit literally has saved me many times in the beginning. And then I just want to mention that all of these things here are in the fast track library for getting started. But again, plan ahead, go through these steps so that you're prepared, because that's the biggest thing is when you're prepared ahead of time, you kind of have your mindset in the right place. So if you wait until you're hungry, you're not going to think about it the right way. So if you plan ahead, you're going to be so much better off,
Yeah.
especially until it becomes, your routine or your habits. In the beginning, you're having to form new habits.
Yeah. And then there's a question, what about non-meat eaters, Beyond Beef or Impossible Burgers, yes or no? Treat them like a category 4. If those are important to you, they are accessible to our members. So if you're a vegan, you only eat plant-based stuff and you want to do that, I would suggest you don't do it a ton. It's not the best stuff for you, but it is a great replacement for meat if you're not going to eat meat. Impossible Burgers, Beyond Beef are allowed, but treat them as a category 4. Nicole's slide here, whether you're going to drive through a grocery aisle, you have the tools to win. All you have to do is apply. It's one thing to know what to do, another thing to do what you know. Always be working on the why. Uh, Nicole said in this slide, great job on these slides. Every meal is a chance to love and worship God, to love yourself, to love your family, and to move forward. I concur. Anything else, Nicole?
No, I don't think so. Does
Any
anybody else got anything or questions?
any questions? Hopefully this brings it back up top of conscious, keeps it on your mind. When we start a new plan, it's top of conscious for a day or two. And then the subconscious wants to take back over, and it's going to yield to reflex habits. You got to stay conscious and aware for the first few months so that you start overriding the subconscious behaviors. Thank you, Cheryl. What about fear of failure stopping you? Fear, false evidence appearing real. The Bible, more than anything else, says, fear not. I also deal with a lot of fear, but we have to remember what we're called to, and we're called to courage. There's no way to fail if you get your mind and heart off of the outcome. Do you see? If you're focused on the outcome, the first day that the scales don't reward you with a drop, you're going to feel like a failure and you're likely to quit. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you focus on the present moment and just following the plan, you cannot fail. If you slip and fall, you get back up. That's not failure. It's impossible to fail. That is the enemy's way of trying to prevent us from our best life. There's never been a successful person that hasn't failed. In addition to that, the more successful the person, the more perceived failures they've had. So if we truly, truly desire to be successful, we have to fear not and go forward, or go forward despite fear, because you can never be successful without experience. And experience only comes by what the world calls failure. You got to keep pushing into it. No matter how many times you slip and fall, get back up until you are not even afraid of fear itself. Amen, Paulette. That's right. That's right. Here, here. Anybody else? Let's see. In the past, under Thrive, you had cheat days where you could eat whatever you want, like birthday cake. Yeah, that's called holidays now. When you took it, it was called blow it days. And I learned that how we speak has impact. That was a negative connotation. Now it's called holidays. Holidays are hollow meals. You get 6 days a month to eat all the cake that you want, but your other days have to be perfect days. If you have all the cake you want for 6 days and then just so days on the other 25 days, you're not going to lose weight. If you have perfect days and 6 holidays, you're going to lose weight. When you get into maintenance, you can have 12. Still have those days. They're just not blow it days. They are holidays. It is best to have a holla meal instead of a holiday. A holiday is where I have a Big Mac for lunch and I go, I've already messed up my whole day, and then I pig out all night too. That's a binge. That's a holiday. It's better to have a holla meal. I've eat right all day. I go out on a date or whatever, and then I have one meal I shouldn't have had. I didn't overdo it. I didn't binge. I just had the wrong bread. That's a holla meal. That's better than a full-on holiday, but it's still a day. You went out of fat burning. It's going to take 2 to get back into fat burning. Anybody else? One day at a time. If you try to look beyond today, you're going to get in trouble, especially in the beginning. You overthink. You got to lay aside the overthinking. It's really not hard. I have to determine today what I'm going to eat during my 3 eating episodes. Day's done. It's a success. I have plenty of variety, plenty of options. I just have to put the right things in the orifice under my nose. They all taste good. So why would I be distracted by something else that tastes good and causes fat gain? Don't do it. Then tomorrow, if you're given a tomorrow, do it again. You're going to feel better. Why not? Don't be addicted to pain and suffering. This program's here to help eliminate suffering. So many of us are suffering and we're choosing the suffering. If you have a perfect day, you are likely to say, I feel so much better and that was easy. And then you say, why not have perfect days only? Then you'll have that holiday. And then you go right back into that. And you're like, what happened? I was feeling better. It's self-sabotage. You got to stop it. Reflex habits will get you every time.
And if you're somebody who has a tendency, and because I did this in the beginning, this is hard, you, you know, I would say choose your hard, because being overweight is hard. Yeah. Having high blood pressure is hard. Not being able to get up and down the steps is hard. So choose your hard. Choose which hard you want, and just keep moving forward is the biggest thing.
Amen. Great stuff. Anybody else? Good job, everybody. Don't forget, go through those fast track videos, use your resources, come to class. We know those people that earn the badge and come to live class have much better results than those that only use the recipe library or whatever. So engage, immerse yourself, and life will change. Nicole, great job.
Thank you.
Everybody good? Satisfied? Hearts and minds clear? All right. Our next meeting is Saturday at noon. We'll wrap this thing up Saturday at noon. And then hopefully you'll be prepared for next week and you can make a lot of progress. If you haven't come and went with us yet on the foundation side and above, if you're just a fast track member, very important to us. You're not just a fast track member, but if you're fast track and you haven't decided to join us, come go with us. Get a lot more tools, resources. You're just immersing yourself more in it, learning the advanced stuff. We just come out of a class on brain health. We do some deep dive stuff in there, and you have a lot more resources and tools. You can even take part in our belt system, accountability system. It makes a meaningful difference in my ability to keep the program going if you are a foundation member or above. All right. Well, we will close out in prayer, and we'll talk to you very soon. All right. Don't forget, there's a thyroid challenge. There's resources there. There's a thyroid challenge in the group challenge. Let's see. Our mission, thank you, Aaron. Our Mission 100 group is fantastic. Don't forget that. People that need to lose more than 100 pounds, we have a separate group for that. Reach out to me with anything that you need. TravisJack777 at gmail.com. TravisJack777 at gmail.com. Get on back, Kathy. Time's going to pass whether we do this or not. We might as well be doing it. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, Lord, our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Great job. See y'all soon.